You probably think winter is just about cold nights, icy roads, and shoveling the driveway. But here's something almost nobody is talking about. FEMA, the very agency that handles disasters across America, just updated their cold weather survival checklist. And it's not stuffed with fancy gadgets or overpriced survival kits. No, this list is full of simple, affordable items hiding in plain sight. Here's the harsh truth. This winter could hit harder and more unpredictably than most people are ready for. The power grid is already fragile. One intense Arctic blast, and parts of the country could be plunged into darkness. We've already seen it in Texas. Families froze in their own homes. In the Midwest, people went days without heat or electricity. Some were even burning furniture or tearing apart their own houses just to stay warm. That isn't survival. It's desperation. FEMA's list, however, isn't about panic. It's about being smart. They quietly recommend 9 basic items that actually work when nothing else does. And the best part? You probably already have some of them at home. You just don't realize how powerful they are. Let's start with personal heat packs and wearable warmth. Most people laugh when they hear battery-powered heat, thinking it's some gimmicky TikTok hack or futuristic toy nobody actually uses. But here's the reality. When the power goes out, your thermostat is just a decoration. The house chills fast, and that soft blanket you trust suddenly feels like a scrap of paper against a biting cold. This is where personal heat devices become life-saving. Rechargeable hand warmers, battery-powered vests, or even batteries from your cordless drill adapted to a heating pad can make the difference between shivering and surviving. The goal isn't to heat your whole house. You'll never manage that without power. It's to heat yourself. Keep your chest, back, hands, and core warm, and your body can survive even the harshest cold. Ignore it, and hypothermia can creep in silently, degree by degree, like a thief in the night. The beauty of these devices is how small, targeted, and versatile they are. One charged pack can provide hours of warmth, and you can rotate them between family members or tuck them under blankets to stretch their heat. Unlike lighting candles or burning furniture, there's no smoke, no carbon monoxide, no fire hazard. Experts are clear. Battery heat won't cook dinner or warm the living room, but it will stabilize your body until power returns or rescue crews arrive. That's the difference between misery and control, so don't scoff at battery-powered warmth. Stock up on rechargeable heat packs, keep extras charged, and add a heated vest if you can. You don't fight winter by heating the house, you fight it by heating yourself. That's FEMA's logic, and it works. Next, let's talk about blankets, the kind that actually save lives. Everyone thinks a blanket is just a blanket, but most of those soft, Instagram-worthy fleece throws are worthless when the power goes out. They look nice, but when the cold sets in, they won't protect you. Most people think any blanket will do in a blackout, but that's a dangerous assumption. Those soft, cozy throws might make you feel comfortable for 5 minutes, but the moment your house starts losing heat, they'll betray you. FEMA doesn't waste time recommending ordinary fleece. They call for serious, heavy-duty blankets, the kind that trap warmth and hold it tight. Think thick wool, military-grade synthetics, or rugged thermal layers, the kind your grandmother probably kept folded at the foot of the bed. They might not be pretty, but they are deadly effective against the cold. Here's why it matters. When your body heat escapes into a thin layer of fabric, you lose energy faster than you realize. First comes fatigue, then confusion, and if you're older or already weak, it can quickly become life-threatening. A fortress blanket stops that heat loss. Its dense weave captures pockets of warm air, keeps them circulating around your body, and gives insulation that doesn't quit after an hour. But this isn't just about sleeping comfortably. A heavy-duty blanket can double as a ground cover to block cold floors, be wedged into drafty windows, thrown over a doorway, or even used to seal off a room to conserve warmth. This is multi-purpose survival gear in action. The hidden danger is that most people underestimate the cold until it's too late. They trust a cozy throw will protect them. But when the temperature drops 20 degrees in a blackout, that comfort is worthless. Substance wins over style. Choose wool, heavyweight synthetics, or anything designed to survive freezing temperatures. When the grid fails and winter closes in, your blanket isn't just comfort, it's armor. Wrap yourself in it and you hold back the night, because winter doesn't care about how snug you feel. It only respects survival. Next, let's talk about one of the most overlooked threats. Your windows. In a winter blackout, your biggest enemy isn't always the cold air itself, it's the glass in your home. Those shiny panes turn into massive holes in your defense, leaking every ounce of heat you're fighting to keep. And in freezing weather, that isn't just a draft, it's a real risk. FEMA has quietly stressed this for years. Protect your windows. And no, this doesn't mean putting up a cheap curtain and hoping for the best. You need insulated window shields, heavy coverings, or multi-layer barriers that block heat and stop icy drafts from creeping in. Your grandmother knew this instinctively. She didn't have a smart thermostat, but she understood heat management. Quilts over windows, blankets tacked to frames, even newspapers layered between cloth and glass. Crude, yes, but shockingly effective. Science backs her up. The Department of Energy confirms that insulated window coverings can cut heat loss by up to 40%. That's survival-grade efficiency. Think about it. When the power goes out and your furnace shuts down, your home can start feeling like an icebox in just hours. Most people panic. The smart move is to target the weak points. The windows, one heavy covering, or a DIY panel of cardboard and cloth can slow the heat bleed, buying you hours, sometimes days. The danger is sneaky. You might not feel the cold seeping through the glass, but quietly, your core temperature drops. That's why experienced preppers never skip window protection. They fortify them. So don't think about turning on heaters first. Think defense. Build your shields, secure your home, and fight winter on your terms. Your windows are the weak point, and you need to armor them now. Blankets, foam boards, reflective insulation. Use whatever you can get your hands on. When a blackout hits and the cold starts clawing at your walls, the only thing standing between you and hypothermia might be the layers you stapled or taped to your windows. Protect the glass, protect your body. That's the formula for survival. Next, let's talk about off-grid radiant heat. Cold isn't just uncomfortable, it's a predator. It creeps in slowly, numbing your fingers, stiffening your joints, and before you know it, your body is giving up without a fight. When the grid goes down, and your furnace is just a cold metal shell in the basement, you don't reach for a candle or a flashlight. You reach for real heat, the kind that doesn't die when the Wi-Fi does. That's where fuel-powered radiant heaters come in. Propane, kerosene, or catalytic heaters are staples in FEMA shelters for a reason. They don't rely on electricity. They pump out infrared warmth that heats your body directly, not just the air around you. Picture this, your house is silent. The wind is howling outside, and you're wrapped in every blanket you own, but still freezing. Then you turn on a radiant heater. Suddenly, warmth hits your chest, your fingers thaw, and hope flickers back. But here's the reality check. These heaters come with strict rules, and ignoring them can be deadly. Ventilation is essential. Clearance from flammable items is a must, and your heater should have safety features like a tip-over shutoff and oxygen depletion sensor. The wrong use can mean fire, carbon monoxide poisoning, or worse. When used properly, though, a radiant heater is a game-changer in a winter blackout. Stock fuel, propane tanks, or kerosene cans can sit ready for months, waiting for the night electricity fails. Unlike a battery pack that dies in hours, a gallon of fuel can provide night after night of life-saving warmth. If you're prepping for a grid-down winter, blankets alone won't cut it. Stock a safe, reliable heater, extra fuel, and practice using it before disaster strikes. In the dead of winter, off-grid heat isn't a luxury, it's survival. Now, let's talk food, the other invisible danger. You can survive darkness, you can fight the cold, but without food, despair hits fast. Hunger doesn't scream, it whispers. Your hands shake, your mind fogs, your muscles refuse to cooperate. That's why FEMA drills one fact into every prepper: non-perishable food isn't optional, it's essential. And we're not talking about chips or an old box of cereal. We're talking about long-life survival meals, freeze-dried packs, retort pouches, MREs, high-calorie ration bars. These can sit in your closet for years, ready to be your lifeline. Some require water, some can be eaten straight from the package. Multi-layer seals lock out moisture and oxygen, giving a shelf life of 20 to 25 years. When trucks can't deliver and grocery shelves are empty, you won't be panicking. You'll be eating while everyone else is waiting for help. That's the power of preparedness. The invisible danger? People underestimate how fast hunger sneaks in. One cold night without proper food, and survival becomes a struggle, no matter how many blankets or heaters you have. That's why stocking long-life emergency meals isn't just smart, it's life-saving. Many people completely underestimate hunger in emergencies. They think, I'll just ration what I have, but rationing can actually make you weaker faster than you realize. When your body runs out of calories in freezing weather, it doesn't just feel tired, it starts giving up warmth to conserve energy. That's when hypothermia sneaks in through the open door. The right emergency food kit doesn't just fill your stomach, it keeps your core burning, your brain sharp, and your willpower alive. So don't stash random cans and call it a plan. Build a deliberate survival pantry with protein-rich pouches, high-calorie bars, and lightweight grains. Rotate your stock every year. Keep some in a go bag, some in your basement, and spread it out so one accident doesn't wipe everything out. In a blackout winter, food isn't about taste, it's about energy, about survival. Shelf-stable meal packs might seem boring, but they're one of the most practical and life-saving investments you can make right now. Next, let's talk about light, old-school oil lamps. When the power goes out, most people panic. They grab their phone flashlight, burn through the last 20% battery, and sit in the dark praying the power company restores electricity. But here's what FEMA and your grandparents both knew. A kerosene lamp is a weapon against the dark. No fancy tech, no fragile batteries, just steady, reliable light when everything else dies. LED lanterns are fine for a few hours, and flashlights work for a night or two. But by night 3, that kerosene lamp outshines them all. Pour the fuel, strike a match, adjust the wick, and you've got light for 10, 15, even 20 hours on a single fill. It doesn't beep, it doesn't fail in the cold, it just burns. And here's the hidden bonus. It gives off a little warmth. Not enough to heat the room, but enough to take the edge off the chill in one corner. In past blackouts, the Northeast blackout of 1965, ice storms that crippled towns, people didn't just gather around these lamps to see, they gathered to survive. A kerosene lamp can even be used to cook small meals or reflect light off a mirror to brighten a space. Of course, safety matters. Never place one near curtains, always ventilate the room, and store fuel safely. But handled correctly, it's as close to foolproof as emergency lighting gets. Unlike fragile tech, it doesn't care if the internet is down or the grid is frozen, it just works. The invisible danger of total darkness is psychological. It messes with your mind, multiplies fear, and can fracture families. A steady lamp flame cuts that in half. It reassures, it calms, and it keeps morale intact while you wait for daylight or rescue. Stop relying on batteries alone. If you're serious about winter prepping, add a kerosene lamp to your kit. While everyone else scrambles in pitch-black panic, you'll be sitting in warm light, a step ahead. Now let's move to another critical tool, a survival-grade multi-fuel stove. When the lights flicker off and your kitchen goes silent, the truth hits hard. All those shiny appliances you brag about on social media, air fryers, microwaves, induction cooktops become useless. Food sits in your pantry, but you can't cook it, heat it, or even boil water. That's not survival. That's slow failure. Let's dive deeper into survival-grade multi-fuel stoves. These aren't sleek, smart gadgets. They don't need Wi-Fi or a working gas line. They don't care about the power grid. They run on whatever fuel you have. Propane, kerosene, butane, white gas, even rubbing alcohol in some models. Some are so versatile, they can burn twigs. That's not a gadget, that's a lifeline. Picture this. Your neighbors are eating cold beans straight from the can, cursing the darkness, while you're in your garage with the door cracked for ventilation, simmering a hot pot of soup. The smell fills the air, the warmth spreads, and the taste of real food hits. That's not just nutrition, it's morale. It's the psychological edge that keeps you fighting when everyone else is losing hope. These stoves are compact, portable, and built for climbers and backpackers, cooking at 12,000 feet in a snowstorm. If it works up there, it works in your blackout kitchen. FEMA recommends having a non-electric cooking source for one reason: hunger kills discipline, and cold food drains hope. Hot food restores it. The danger of running out of energy is subtle. You won't notice it at first. You just feel slow, tired, maybe even hopeless. That's your body shutting down without fuel. A multi-fuel stove gives you control back: heat, water, and food, all from one flame. Don't wait until you're shivering and staring at raw rice you can't cook. Get a stove that can burn whatever fuel you have. When the kitchen dies, fire keeps you alive. Next, let's talk about heat-locking thermal bottles.